how she's doing and she'd lie and say I'm fine. Ask her how she's doing and she'd lie. Ask her how she's doing. Ask me how I'm doing.
All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, I'll run my gun.
Welcome to another video. I know it's been a pretty long hiatus, and I promise I can explain. I had my second daughter back in September, and it's been a pretty crazy transition period going from having one child to having two. That being said, I am back to uploading once or twice a week, however I cannot promise a specific day of the week that videos will be going up, so be sure to hit that notification bell if you'd like to stay up to date with my content. Without further ado, today I'll be giving my personal opinion on Amberlynn Reid's So Raw series. It's certainly a mess, so get your baby wipes and your bib and let's get into it. I also just want to point out, in the title she refers to her significant other as wifey when she's been so vehemently against her subscribers doing it.
Get into is, how did your ex propose to you? So
why are we still talking about Becky? Literally every new series or topic she uploads to her channel always has something to do with Becky. When she talked about her cancer scare and heavy bleeding, she included Becky. When she got with Wifey, she found a way to bring up Becky. Everything she says and does is somehow tied into Becky after they have asked repeatedly for Amberlynn to stop talking about them. This is ridiculous, and knowing Amberlynn handpicks the questions makes this even worse.
I do want to say that during my time doing So Raw, I will be talking about my past experiences. I am a human being with experiences, as is everyone, and I don't want to shy away from things that I've been through just because someone else was involved. That's silly.
Yeah, this would make sense if she was talking about something that happened in the past that was unrelated to their relationship but still involved Becky as a background character, but she is directly talking about their engagement based on a question she picked out. She could have picked any other question, but she chose one specifically to do with her relationship with Becky so she can continue peeing in the open wound that was the end of their engagement. It's ridiculous and so toxic towards Becky, who just wants to be left alone.
It's not only silencing me, but it's taking away my human experiences. So I don't.
Oh yes, someone asking you not to continue publicly bashing them to your thousands of viewers, and those same viewers asking you to respect those wishes, is definitely silencing you. Because the story of how your ex proposed to you is such an important detail of your current life, and it is absolutely imperative that your subscribers know about it. Totally. This literally has nothing to do with her current life and is completely irrelevant to the content on her channel. She's just looking for a reason to talk about Becky.
About almost 2 years ago, I was engaged, and I kind of want to share how I got proposed to because it's rather unique, if you will. So everyone has dreams of how they want their partner to propose to them. I know I do. I'm very vocal about it as well. I feel like if you have a certain dream, or if you have like a certain ring that you want, or a way that you want to be proposed to, let your partner know.
If you want to plan your own proposal, why wouldn't you just be the one to propose? I guess it might be an unpopular opinion, but I thought the best part of the proposal, besides the fact that you're going to marry the person you love, is the thoughtfulness that the person proposing put into planning something really special just for you. Like, I can understand those with anxiety wanting their partner to know they don't want to be proposed to in public or something along those lines, but planning it yourself, down to the exact ring, just feels like the person proposing has to follow a rubric, and I'd imagine it'd be a little less romantic.
I was sitting in the living room. It was about 2 a.m. and I was in a muumuu. I was like actual grandma chic. I had my floral muumuu on, living my best life. Don't think I showered that day. Can't tell you what I was doing. Probably binge watching some YouTube moment, who knows. And I remember it being January 13th because my partner thought that she wanted to change that day for me because years prior, that's a day that I got broken up on, like where my heart broke. So she wanted to change that day for me into something special, which I get where your mind frame's at. It's a good mind frame, but it's also kind of weird.
So basically, I edited it out for continuity, but I'll paraphrase. Before this she went into a rant about how she wants a cheesy and super romantic proposal, like something straight out of an Adam Sandler romance movie, once again paraphrasing LMAO, and how she wanted to look good for it, just to set the stage for her to take a steaming dump on whatever it is she's about to tell us that Becky did.
Moo, not showered, hair greasy as per usual. And all of a sudden, like, she comes out, like she's also in her pajamas, like just living her best life. We both got the greasy hair.
So you mean to tell me, Amberlynn was super vocal about what she wanted in a proposal, yet somehow Becky got it wrong? I don't believe that for a second. Just like she was super adamant about going to the hospital and Becky just didn't think it was a big deal? And I think it's perfectly reasonable to try to take a bad day in your partner's life and create new and better memories for it. Would I personally do it? No. But I definitely see where she was coming from, especially if Amberlynn had brought up that specific date a lot throughout their relationship and Becky just wanted her to feel better about it. I can't see anyone just randomly picking a day your ex broke up with you to plan an entire engagement. I don't even know the exact date my significant other broke up with his ex before we met. It's not something that's usually common knowledge in a relationship without someone bringing it up themselves.
Just living our actual separate lives in the same home. I don't know. There was definitely
I'm not sure why she's making it such a point to let us know how unhygienic and disheveled she was. I guess to further highlight how far it was from what she supposedly was super vocal about wanting. From the times we saw Becky on Amberlynn's channel, they seemed super caring and attentive, and I just find it hard to believe that Amberlynn hammered into their head exactly what she wanted and Becky set out to purposely do the exact opposite. Also, Amberlynn literally paid for her own ring, so it's hard to believe she had no idea she was gonna get proposed to, or hadn't had a single conversation about how she wanted flowers and petals and music LMAO.
She walked out of the bedroom with something in her hand, and it was like this clear box, and it was small, and I could tell something was in it, and she just sat down across from me and handed it to me.
I'm seriously questioning the point of this video. She's saying they were estranged and living separate lives, but immediately after the breakup she was saying how Becky should feel bad for ending the engagement because she was so in love and she thought they were gonna be together for the rest of their lives. So I'm not sure how the narrative of if she actually loved Becky or not keeps changing based on what type of sympathy she wants to garner from her audience.
It was a tiny pink vibrator with a engagement ring wrapped around it. Like, it was like, say this is the vibrator, it was like on it, like that.
God forbid they sit down? Usually the getting down on one knee is for showmanship or tradition, and she literally just said she wanted a personal and romantic gesture. In my opinion, sitting down eye to eye is a lot more personal than getting down on one knee.
We hadn't had sex. We had sex one time in the last like 3 years. So it was—
Poor Becky. This is literally a private moment between them and Amberlynn that she's now using to embarrass Becky and get paid for it. There's probably a reason we never heard their engagement story, and the fact that Amberlynn is bringing this up 3 years later is so weird to me. Also, considering the texts that leaked containing Becky talking about Amberlynn's hygiene, I'd go out on a limb and say that the vibrator is very romantic. It shows that Becky was willing to overlook Amberlynn's self-neglect and lack of hygienic practice to be intimate with her.
I don't know, but that's how I was proposed to. I know a lot of people have been asking about that.
Gee, I wonder why. Rarely bathing, constantly eating, never washing your hair, and constant UTIs and yeast infections usually make someone want to jump your bones.
Okay, so here we have an advice column asking Amberlynn, you know, advice with Amberlynn, because I have all the advice.
I highly doubt a lot of people have been asking about this, and even if they were, you could have easily ignored them like you do all of your viewers that try to hold you accountable for self-diagnosing or clickbaiting donating to homeless shelters.
Advice that someone needs from me. I'm talking to my teacher on Snapchat. Technically, it's my professor. I had this professor last year and we were flirty then, and I thought that was it. Until I found out I had them again this semester, and we picked things right back up. This time on Snapchat. I'm 21 and she's 45. Sure, it's unethical, and I didn't find anything too wrong with it until I found out she's married. Help.
I highly doubt a lot of people have been asking about this, and even if they were, you could have easily ignored them like you do all of your viewers that try to hold you accountable for self-diagnosing or clickbaiting donating to homeless shelters.
So I have been asked a lot to talk about my foster care experience, and honestly, I have tried so hard to like do whole videos dedicated to that, but it would take a lifetime.
I'm sure she included this because it sounds like a bit of juicy gossip, but this literally sounds like she asked an AI generator to write her a generic Wattpad script romanticizing the abuse of the power dynamic between a married teacher and a student. This is basically the gender-bent plot for Arya and Ezra, except less illegal.
Do I still like Trisha Paytas, and what is my current opinions on her now?
With all the videos she's made telling us about her hoards of journals, earrings, and purses, I'm sure she could have at least given us the Cliff Notes version. I'm just going to skip over the rest of this story. Everyone has their theories about her foster care situation, and honestly, none of us will ever actually know the truth, but she literally said a few videos ago that she wasn't going to talk about it anymore because it was too traumatic, but here we are. Talking about it. Again.
The things that she would do, the things that she would say, the things that she would lie about, the gaslighting, the way that she treated Ethan, I completely changed my opinion about her. I don't think that she is a good, genuine person, and that's just how I feel based on frenemies.
First off, she hates when people make judgments about her based on her videos, but is it absolutely fine for her to do it to someone else? Whatever your stance on Trisha Paytas is, that's your prerogative, but Amberlynn is literally doing what she constantly bashes her subscribers for. Also, she can sit there and list every abusive behavior Trisha displayed toward Ethan, but somehow when someone points out her abusive behaviors, her only responses are "I don't know what you mean. You're silencing me, or you don't know what you're talking about." Interesting.
I feel like Trisha Paytas gets away with literally everything bad and disgusting and racist and homophobic, mental illness shaming, body shaming. She gets away with everything.
It's almost sinister how fitting it would still sound if you replace the words Trisha Paytas with Amberlynn Reid.
Segment is random fact of the day. I personally love random facts. I have this cute little book. It is true facts that sound like bullshit.
Please save yourself some time and instead of watching Amberlynn Reid literally use a book of random facts to drag out her content because she's never had an original idea in her life, just go buy the book or Google random facts. You'll thank me later.
So the second rumor, of course, there's another rumor. I was gonna try to do just one rumor per So Raw, but there's another one that's going kind of hot right now. Amberlynn and or wifey got the subreddits taken down. You guys, I have been on Reddit maybe 3 times my whole life. Once was to read something about me. The 2 other times was to look up the hashtag 1500 is enough or is plenty. I don't even remember, which is like people who just eat 1500 calories and they like talk about it or whatever. And my friend told me about it, so I looked it up and I was like super obsessed. So I spent like 2 hours one day just like, never went on there again, maybe one other time, but I've only ever went on subreddit, my subreddit like once, so no, wasn't me, wasn't wifey. I could fucking care less.
I literally do not believe this for a second. With the way Amberlynn always hyper-focuses on what the haters are saying about her, we're supposed to believe she wasn't frequenting the Amberlynn Reid Reddit pages? Yeah, okay. Also, her going into that long rant about how she doesn't even use Reddit was completely unnecessary to answering the question. And if she could care less what people say about her, she wouldn't have gone on her subreddit to begin with.
The fact that this continuously happens where you guys come at me for a subreddit being taken down about me when I had nothing to do with it goes to show that you are bullying. What you are doing in that subreddit is not okay. It is harassment, it is doxing, it is bullying, it is gross, it is clearly not allowed on reddit.com.
So she only went to the subreddit once to read one thing about herself, but then launched into a whole lecture about the things that were going on in the subreddit? I'm not a calculus major, but I can tell you it's not adding up. I'm gonna end the video here because everything that comes after is just drabble and nothing really important was said. There was a funny moment where Amberlynn tells a totally true story about bumping into the same random man in 3 different places on 3 different occasions, and he flirts with her and asks for her contact information every single time, and she gives him a fake number each time like the true girl boss she is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's talk soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.